Did you know that just picking the wrong solar technology for your particular home could mean your system doesn't perform well?
hmm
Or, cost you thousands more than it should?
Yeah, it's surprisingly common. We see figures like, what, up to 40% of installations might have tech that isn't quite the right fit, often
Yeah.
because of all the jargon, right?
Right.
Monocrystalline microinverters.
Exactly. So welcome back to our deep dive where we cut through all that noise. Today we're tackling right-sizing your solar system.
Uh-huh. Looking at the key bits: panels, inverters, and batteries.
And our mission here is simple. Help you understand what actually fits your needs so you can, skip the expensive stuff you might not need.
Okay, sounds good. Where should we start? Panels.
Let's do it. The panels, the bits you actually see up on the roof. There are a few main kinds out there, but maybe the big question isn't just efficiency. It's more about value for the space you have.
That's a great way to put it. So first up, you've got monocrystalline. They're usually those sleek black panels. Top end for efficiency, maybe 18 to 22%.
Right, so they pack more punch in less space and work a bit better in heat or low light.
Exactly. But they do cost more, typically around 20% more per watt.
Okay, then what's next?
Then you have polycrystalline. You can often spot them by their bluish color. They're a little less efficient, say 15 to 17%.
Which means you'd need a bit more roof space for the same total power, maybe 10% more?
Yeah, roughly. But the big advantage is they're generally more affordable.
And the third type, thin film.
Thin film, yeah. It's more of a budget option, efficiency-wise, maybe 10 to 13%. Lightweight, flexible sometimes, which is interesting. They handle heat well, but need almost double the roof space. Less common for typical homes because of that space issue.
Okay, so here's the critical point, the thing people might miss. Having tons of roof space changes the calculation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If your roof is wide open, not limited on space, paying that premium for monocrystalline efficiency might just be, well, a necessary cost.
You could potentially get the same overall power output with quality polycrystalline panels, use a bit more space, and save maybe several $1,000s on a standard home system.
Precisely. It's really about matching the panel to your actual roof and budget, not just aiming for the highest efficiency number on a spec sheet.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Okay, so panels generate the DC power. Now let's talk about converting it. Inverters, you call them the heart of the system.
Yeah, they're crucial. They take that DC electricity from the panels and turn it into the AC power your house uses and what the grid uses too. Choosing the wrong approach here can really impact performance and your wallet.
So what are the main options?
Well, the traditional choice is the string inverter. It's usually the most affordable. You basically wire panels together in a series, a string feeding into one central box.
Like old Christmas lights.
Kinda, yeah. Very reliable when you have full, consistent sun. But the downside is, if just one panel in that string gets shaded or maybe fails,
Oh, it brings down the output of the whole string?
that's the one. It can significantly reduce production for that whole group of panels.
So that's where the alternatives become important,
Right.
especially if you have any shade issues.
Exactly. You've got micro-inverters.
Yeah.
These are small inverters that actually mount behind each individual panel.
So every panel works independently.
Correct. If one panel gets shaded by, say, a chimney or a tree branch, the others just keep working at their maximum potential. Great for complex roofs or any kind of partial shading. Plus, you get detailed monitoring for each panel.
And there's a middle ground too, right? Power optimizers.
Yes, power optimizers. They also attach to each panel like micros. They condition the DC power right there at the panel, helping with shade issues, but then they send that optimized power to a central string-style inverter.
So kind of combining features.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe getting some of the benefits of microinverters, but potentially at a lower cost.
Often, yes. It mitigates shade impacts at the panel level, but still uses a central inverter for the final DC to AC conversion.
So you really need to look at your roof. A wide-open, sunny roof might be perfect for a cost-effective string inverter.
Absolutely. You might be overpaying for micros or optimizers you don't truly need in that scenario.
But if you've got trees, different roof angles, dormers, anything causing shade at different times,
Then microinverters or optimizers are likely well worth the extra investment because they'll generate significantly more energy over the system's life. You have to be honest about your shade.
Okay, lots to consider there. Let's take a quick pause. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've covered panels and inverters. Now the final big piece, battery storage.
Right, and this is often a significant extra cost. You're looking at anywhere from, say, $8,000 to $15,000 or even more added to the system.
So what do they actually do?
Well, fundamentally, they store excess solar energy your panels produce during the day so you can use it later, like at night. They also provide backup power if the grid goes down.
Okay, backup power sounds good.
Meh.
But you mentioned cost. The big question installers might not always ask directly is, do you actually need one financially?
That's the core issue. It really depends heavily on your local utilities rules, specifically net metering.
Explain that. Net metering.
Sure. If your utility offers full retail net metering, it means they give you credit for the excess power you send to the grid at the same price you pay when you pull power from the grid.
Ah, so in that case, the grid itself is kind of acting like a free battery for you. You store value there, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. Financially speaking, in that scenario, the main value of a battery shifts mostly to backup power during outages, or maybe saving money if you have really high peak electricity prices in the evening, what they call time of use rates.
But what if net metering isn't so good? Like they buy your excess power cheap but sell it back to you expensive.
That's when a battery starts making a lot more financial sense. If the credit you get is low, storing your own excess power to use later avoids you having to buy expensive grid power at night. It boosts your self-consumption. Also, obviously, if you have frequent power outages, the backup value is huge.
And you mentioned financing them earlier. That adds up too.
Oh, absolutely. Be really careful there. Rolling a $12,000 battery into a 25-year solar loan. With interest, the total cost for just the battery could easily climb over $30,000 over the life of that loan. You need to understand that true long-term cost.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this all up, it sounds like there's no single perfect solar system setup.
Definitely not. It's always a balance. You've got your specific energy usage patterns, your roof size and shade conditions, your local utility-specific policies, and of course your budget.
The real takeaway then is making sure the technology choice fits your unique situation, not just, what someone wants to sell you.
Exactly. It's about the right fit for you.
And if you want some help figuring out that specific fit for your home, getting a personalized look, you could consider giving the Integrate Sun team a call for a consultation.
Good idea for personalized advice.
So next time we're diving into the money side of things, we'll break down the total costs, look at federal and state incentives, rebates, and really unpack the different ways to pay cash versus loans, versus leases, and those power purchase agreements, or PPAs.
Yeah, navigating the financials is a whole other important piece.
Definitely. So until then, maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Take a moment to really think about your own home. Look at your roof, notice the shade, check your latest utility bill for those rates, and any net metering details. How might these different panel, inverter, and battery options actually apply or maybe not apply to where you live?